If I was a realtor, I would accept a VA offer over a conventional offer every single day. I'm going to tell you why, okay? And this is going to tie into VA appraisals and what's going on in the market. So here's the thing that no one recognizes. VA appraisers are the most qualified appraisers in the area. The amount of education, the standards they're held to, how VA makes them accountable, they are, every time I get a VA loan, I'm like, whew, I don't have to worry about the appraisal on this one. Thank God. Because what we see with conventional is the standards are not as rigorous. They're not held to the same level of having to perform. With VA, if an appraiser bails out on an order, they can get in trouble and get kicked off the VA list, which none of them want. And the reason they don't want to get kicked off that list is because that list, there's constantly VA loans. Rain or shine, they're always happening. In a recession, guess what? VA loans are still happening. So appraisers are very motivated to stay on that list. So they play by VA's rules. Conventional, there are no rules. There are no rules. So we can order an appraisal and we can say, hey, can you please get this back to us in 7 days? They can respond and say, sure, no problem. And then the day before it's due, they can literally email us and say, oh, sorry, we can't give this to you the next day. New due date, 20 days later. Seriously, it happens. It happens because there's no legal way to hold their feet to the fire. Because of the Appraisal Independence Act, appraisers really have a ton of control right now. VA holds them accountable. Everything else, Appraisal Independence Act makes it so they can't be held accountable. Yeah, so if I was a realtor looking at different offers, they usually go, oh, well, conventional is a better loan and they'll close quicker and it will be easier. Ha 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 ha, take the VA. Take the VA. Unless it's something where you don't need an appraisal at all, and I don't mean they're waiving the appraisal, because they could waive the appraisal and you could still end up delayed because the appraiser's not going out. Unless you have something with no appraisal, VA is the way to go. It's the way to go. And it's because of the standards these appraisers are held to. Now, the next thing a realtor usually says to me is, well, VA appraisals, the house will never make it. Well, guys, if it's not going to pass a VA appraisal, it's not going to pass a conventional appraisal either. Here's why. Same thing. Both have to be in average or better condition. It's not like conventional, the house can have issues and we don't care. If the house has broken windows, if the house has active water leak, if the house has no floors, it doesn't matter which type of loan, we're still gonna need that stuff fixed. And that's where the misconception is that people assume that with conventional, the appraisers are easy. In my experience, as an originator that does 50% VA and 50% conventional, that's not accurate. As a lender, we're requiring the same things, which is average or better condition. So if you have a house with an active water leak, peeling paint, no floors, it's not gonna go conventional either. With VA, yeah, it's not gonna go VA either. But here's the thing. There's no difference. There's no difference. So this whole VA appraisers are so much harder is just, it's a myth, because the bottom line is there's no extra hoops with VA. Now, the only thing that can come into consideration that VA has that conventional doesn't is in certain states you need a pest report and clear pest, okay? If your house is in decent condition, which from my experience most of them are, this is not an issue. Okay? If you have a pest report of $100,000, $50 says the conventional appraiser will find something to call out. Because if the conventional appraiser sees serious stuff going on, like what would be a great example? A deck, right? A deck that's falling apart. Sometimes a realtor will go, well, it won't go VA, so you switch them to conventional. And I'm like, no, because it's not going to go conventional either. Like if the appraiser falls through the deck or an appraiser walks on the boards and it's unsafe, that's a health and safety. It doesn't matter the loan type, it's a problem. So it's very important to note that a lot of the misconceptions about VA are just that, they're misconceptions. We are looking for average or better condition. That is what the appraiser is looking for. Now, the other thing is, because VA holds them to such high standards, there's less nonsense. So let's talk about nonsense. We talked about delays, right? In conventional world, you can definitely have delays, and they can really do it where they're like the day before it's due, they can be like canceled order. You're like, what? How do you cancel the order? They're like, we canceled the order. What? Are there like zero repercussion, guys? Zero. VA? I don't see that with VA, no. The only time I've seen an appraisal delay is when the guy got COVID. He still turned it in. He still turned it in. So yes, be mindful of that. Okay, the other thing is that with VA appraisers, back to the nonsense. So I'm going to give you guys a story. There was this gal in one of the markets I work in, and she was a conventional appraiser. She was not approved for VA. And on the conventional stuff, every single appraisal she did was subject to. So when we're looking at appraisals, we're hoping it's as is. As is means that the house is in average or better condition. Generally, there's no repairs that need to be done. Subject to means that in order to move forward, something has to be repaired and the appraiser has to go back out. So this gal would call out the dumbest stuff. So for instance, on one, she called out the light bulb above the stove. Yeah, she delayed the close of escrow because she said the light bulb above the stove had to be replaced and she needed to go out and verify because it was a health and safety issue. Seriously? Seriously. Her argument when we called her on it was, well, you know, if they don't have the light bulb on and they can't see what they're cooking, they could burn themselves, they could hurt themselves, they could die. Health and safety issue. So we can't be like, this is ridiculous, you're stupid, remove it. Because of the Appraisal Independence Act, we have to go, okay, we understand. We will get that light bulb fixed and send the appraiser back out, which costs the borrower money. With VA, if they had something like that, we could go to the VA and be like, hey, this is not good. This appraiser's looking for some extra money. So what can you do? And they can make a judgment call on like, yeah, that's ridiculous. Or talk to the appraiser and be like, hey, this doesn't really meet our guidelines on how we do it. So with VA, you have this entity that actually has some level of, people having to be accountable. And the Appraisal Independence Act was very important because there was some shady stuff going on where like people were pressuring appraisers to bring in values, threatening them, bribing them, blackmailing them, crazy stuff. So it's a really good law. It's just unfortunately it's swung the other way to the point where they're like, you can't touch me, I don't care. Yeah. VA, guess what? They care. So I would say, VA is definitely the way to go. The other thing is because we're in a market where appraisals are coming in low, the nice thing about VA is that they have to actually reach out before they turn in the appraisal and give you an opportunity to increase the value by providing additional comps or additional proof that the house is worth what you're selling it for. With conventional, you get the appraisal back low and then you have to do a reconsideration of value, which there's no time frame on. I've had some where like on day 10, we're like, please, sir, please, can we have it back? Please. And they're like, I'll get to it next week. You can't do anything. You're hostage. VA, we turn in the stuff for the Tidewater and they get it back to us generally within 2 to 3 days. The longest I've ever seen is 4 days. But they're giving that to us before we even get the appraisal. So we have a shot at getting that purchase price, right there. And I know someone's probably watching this going, well, I'm sure they never increase the price. Yeah, they do. They do. I had one just this week where it came in low. It was new construction. I was super worried. The agents provided more data about some of the upgrades and some of the other sales that the appraiser hadn't noticed. The appraisal came in at value. Yay! Tidewater for the win! Woo! Whereas over here with conventional, I would have had to get the appraisal, get the comps, argue with the appraiser, pray that they look at it, pray they get it back to me. Yeah. And then if the appraisal with VA, let's say that the Tidewater comes in low and people are like, wait, this appraisal's really messed up, which I don't see a lot of. I'm going to say that right now. We can actually go to VA and they'll review it to make sure that it's solid. So it's really like having a big brother or a big sister in your corner making sure that your appraisal process is the best it can be. And they're using appraisers that are the most knowledgeable in that arena. So I am a super big fan. So if you're a realtor watching this, guys, take those VA offers. I'm not just saying that because I'm 50% VA. I'm 50% conventional too. I'm saying that because I can tell you that as a lender, Those appraisals are so much easier right now, so much easier. We're getting the best appraisers, we're getting it back in a good timely manner, and you get that option to, argue the price if you get a Tidewater. It is the way to go. VA appraisals are not harder than conventional. If the house is in average or better condition, you're good. And if the house isn't, conventional is not going to go for it either. So I hope this has been helpful. If you guys have questions, comments, as always, leave them in the body. I'm licensed in 46 states. I have a team of awesome people who love people, which makes it really fun to work and also really fun for our clients. So if you guys need anything, let me know.